one of my followers since 2019, and he's kind of like one of the OGs of my men's community. And we're happy to have him here. I want to introduce Mr. Dellyn Lee. Yay! All right.
Thank you. Thank you, guys. Honestly, it's an honor to be on the show. I was very nervous, but it's actually gone away because I feel like I know George Bruno for a long time, and birds of a feather flock together. So I know after watching I think 12 episodes right now, Jonesy and also Frank, you guys are also awesome as well. And thanks again for educating us on your knowledge on business.
It's our absolute pleasure. And great to have you here. Awesome beard. It goes with the whole theme.
Another guy with a beard.
Frank, you got to grow a beard, man.
Peer pressure, man. Peer pressure.
Beard pressure.
Yeah, thin the hair and grow the beard, man. That's what I'm talking about.
That's funny. Yeah. I love it when somebody tells me, hey, I want you to win. And they will do whatever it takes to help you win. So tell us what your challenge is. You have probably, I don't know, almost 100 years of experience between myself, Jonesy, and Frank, combined experience in marketing and promotions. Tell us a little bit about yourself, what you're getting into, and what your goals are.
Yeah, so my day job, my career per se, is talent acquisition. I'm actually the senior of a talent acquisition team. On top of me is basically the manager, and we have a few reps that we work with as well. And I've been doing that for almost 5 years. So people skills is something that I getting someone business, getting someone from working to the business kind of thing. And the company I work for is L&R Distributors. That's my career job. I just started up this business called Dellyn Digital. Finished up the business plan. I started in October 19th last year, and it's basically going to be dealing with coaching, counseling, resume edits, and LinkedIn and media branding. Blending the best of what I do currently as a people provider, a service provider, and also with my interests. Industry. I actually done my capstone presentation on the video game industry, and I think in 2014 I got a B+ on it. So I really love the industry, and I kind of want to blend that into what I'm doing in job coaching, getting gamers into that job that they want to do. And I feel like the correlation of the kind of games they play and the psychology of that correlates to the kind of things that they would do well in. And I feel like that's a good kind of spin, and branding is something I love as well. I do it for the company, and might as well do it for myself in terms of, getting my name out there.
Okay, good. That's a great background, Dellyn. I'm not much, I don't have any experience. It's not that I have little experience. I have no experience with the gaming culture. And I know it's a culture. I know it's a lifestyle with many people, and it's just a bazillion-dollar business. So your market is out there. Your market is out there. I don't even know what questions to ask, but I know Jonesy does.
Yeah, I mean, I think my first question is, what stage are you at with this business?
Yes, of course. Actually looking at the business plan as we go, so I want to give you guys the key information at hand. So I'm actually at the stage of making it into an LLC, something legal kind of. I don't know the building blocks of that. I have a few friends that's actually content creators themselves, and they, looking at it now, they kind of rubbed off on me because they're, photographers and content creators themselves, talking to the HR guy in the room, and that kind of rubbed off on me, and now I'm here kind of thing. So just to sum it up, I'm looking to turn it into LLC, trying to understand the steps to do that, and then go from there. Looking at the business, it's probably going to be 2 separate parts. One is going to be the coaching and counseling part, and the other is going to be streaming video games, making content. Also, I do a little video editing on the side as well, so that kind of ties into it, blending all those things together into Dellyn Digital.
Frank, what would you ask?
Well, I can offer before I ask. Setting up an LLC is nothing. You just go to inknow.com, and it's INCNOW. You register as a Delaware LLC. It's $249 to $349 to get rolling, and I was paid Delaware tax every year on the LLC. Mine is on my desk here, and that cost us. Excuse me. That cost us $300 a year, and that's it. And they keep you. I mean, this is it. The you
Yeah,
know,
I know.
real
Yeah.
simple, and that's who I would personally recommend. Inc. Now, they're I get nothing for recommending them, but they're very good. They're very helpful, and they can point you um, in the right direction should you have any questions. They have additional trainings and etc. And just good people to know. I use all years ago. It seems so complicated setting up an LLC, but as Jonesy will tell you, it's nothing. It really is. Um, you just fill out your sort of heads of agreement or whatever it is, and that's it. Who's going to be, who owns what percentage of the company, et cetera, and they mail you. We just looked at it, Jonesy, right? It's 2 to 4 days or something for
Mhm.
$250, and if you have to have your LLC today, you pay an extra $100, and they do essentially same day or overnight. So you don't even need that, man. But $250, and we pay $300 a year to be street legal in Delaware and to be in good standing. It's a small price to pay. There are specific reasons why. I'm not an accountant, nor do I play one on TV, mind you. Um, but Inc. Now can tell you why Delaware is such a good place. I've had Nevada LLCs and stuff like that, and it was such a hassle. I mean, I remember getting the big kit and everything, that they want to sell. You don't need any of that. Um, there's things like an official seal and a stamper and all that you can get, but to me, you pay the $250. And the reason you want to have an LLC, A, the tax considerations, and B, the liability considerations as well. You want to have an arm's length, away from yourself at all times. For again, I'm not a accountant, nor am I an attorney. Well, I did play a detective in community theater one time. That's totally besides the point, Jonesy. Don't get sidetracked here.
We're gonna do a deep dive on that background check right there.
Oh, my community acting career was legend, man. Definitely.
You know what? Inc. Now is something I wish I knew about 5 years ago when I made my first LLC, just because of that simplicity. Now, I'm situated in Pennsylvania, and I have 4 LLCs. Well, I guess technically 5 with Conversion Chemistry now, which is under Inc. Now. Everything else is under Pennsylvania with very simple operating agreements. The difference is with those businesses, I do everything as a service, so I don't have to charge sales tax, and that's one of the benefits of Inc. Now is there's no sales tax in Delaware. Therefore, you can, if you have to classify any of your sales as a product, again, not an accountant or an attorney. However, there's no sales tax, so you don't charge sales tax, and then you don't pay the sales tax to the state. You pay that $300 a year franchise charge to Delaware, and that's your taxes basically.
Wow, that's pretty good.
And they provide you with the with an operating agreement template, which if it's just you, then you're the single 100% operating owner and member, and bada bing, bada boom, get yourself an EIN, and now you're street legal, as Frank says.
Yeah, and they can get you an EIN. I think it's an extra $100, but it's so easy. You could just
Don't
do
do
that
it. Yeah,
yourself.
you just go on the IRS website. It takes 3 minutes flat.
Yeah.
Got it. Understood. Hopefully, it will be super easy for New York City since I'm there right now. So, thank you.
Well, EIN's federal, so it's the same everywhere.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah.
Excellent. Now, in the marketing world, we talk about having tiers of products and tiers of services. The best model I know is good, better, and best. Here's what we have, entry level. Here's the next level. And then here's our ultimate platinum product, whatever, good, better, and best. And I've been hearing in the past couple of years, always lead with your platinum product, always lead with your best product first, as opposed to entry level. And if a person says, well, we can't afford that, I don't have the cash for that right now. Well, that's not a problem because we have something that can fit your needs, as opposed to starting out with a $49 product. You start out with a $4,900 product, and like the entry level product might be $99 or something like that. But let me ask you this, Dellyn, what is your flagship product on the good, better, best hierarchy? What is the best thing that you offer your customer? your potential customer?
Yes. So basically, that would be the career coaching services. That's going to be broken down within 3 months with one client.
Okay. And then what is your entry level product? If someone just wants to be involved and utilize the services, what is the minimum viable product? And that's a phrase that we use a lot on Fire Your Boss. What is the minimum viable product that a person can purchase from you, or minimum viable service that they can purchase from you?
Yes, that will actually be resume edits
Okay,
Okay.
on the very
excellent,
low tier. Mhm.
I
excellent.
like it.
Now, will you have some kind of Discord or a Slack group or something like that? A private community of people, that type of thing, who will be communicating, or is everything going to be resting on your shoulders? Or is it all Dellyn, or is there a group of trusted advisors, or is there going to be room for advisors to kind of rise to the top, unpaid people, but let's say you have a Slack group of some type that people are contributing to, because I think it's a lot of work for one person to do it. 24/7. You got to sleep. So, Tell me about that.
Yeah, so basically right now it's just me, since this is just a startup kind of thing. But eventually I do want to get like a group of people, probably up to four, once it's manageable, to kind of also do these resume edits, coaching as well, in addition to me, because yeah, I do need to sleep sometimes, like we all do. But as of right now, it's just going to be me, and I will actually already have like a link for them to click on, go to through Calendly, set up some time, and then talk about my services there.
Right.
And then build out the website. Eventually, I do want to have a Discord, because that could also
Mhm.
tie to the streaming, because I like playing video games as well, so I could do the streaming from there, and build up the brand. Um, yeah, from there. So yeah, it's all going to be connected when it comes to actually doing the video game streams to gain traction on the hottest new video games that's out there, talking about the industry on one end, and at the same time, you're still looking for a job, of course. So that's where it comes in. I come in with the video game terms, the ideologies, the methodologies about that, and just kind of tie that into, gaming, and finding the best job for you, whether if it's within the gaming industry or outside the gaming industry. Just trying to level up your career the gamer's way.
I love that.
Okay, excellent.
It's got a unique hook to it.
Thank you, sir. I've learned from the best.
So, what are you looking to replace your 9 to 5? Supplement? What's your vision there?
That's a good question. I really love what I do, and not a lot of people could say that in their traditional 9 to 5 career. I
Hmm.
mean, I'm a recruiter at heart. I'm a talent acquisition at heart. I love connecting people with businesses. So I honestly don't see myself leaving that until, if the business is making more than what I'm currently making now, then I do need to look at that and kind of switch and pivot and make it more into like a part-time thing, maybe even consulting thing for the career, and focus more on the business side of things. But I really do love talent acquisition. But at the same time, I felt like I had extra energy, mental energy per se, and I didn't want to just waste that on just not doing anything. So, after watching a lot of George Bruno's videos and stuff like that, I kind of said to myself, I need to put this into action, put it on paper. And last year, that was just a turning point for me, and I've written out the business plan. 20 pages later, I'm here. So yeah.
And that's the leverage that gets us excited, all of us here. Is also it's great that you're in a position that you like what you do. That's unique in and of itself, and it's something I promote. If you are somebody who likes that 9 to 5, be in a place where you want to be. That's so important. Not everybody wants to or should be self-employed. It's not the best fit for everybody. So part of the fire your boss ideology and methodology is not necessarily going on your own. Yeah, we do promote the side hustle, but be happy where you are using the skills that you have and want to hone. So you got the best of both worlds there. And when I talk about leverage of that side hustle, that could go a million different ways for you. So it's very, very exciting to see, because I can tell you put a lot of thought into it, and then those plans can evolve where maybe it's a monetary threshold that you're making a certain amount under Dellyn Digital, that it's worth flipping and making the recruiting with the company, a part-time thing, or you go on some kind of contract arrangement. There's a million different ways it can go. So and I'm not telling you nothing you don't already know there, but just keep the plan fluid for that reason.
Yes.
The exit strategy, if there is one, we'll call it the exit strategy, I guess.
Yes, for sure. Definitely, if you want to do your own thing, that's fine. You just have to do it smartly, right? Just don't get up and just say, "Oh, let's go," not do it. No plan, no game plan, no business plan,
Right.
no market research. I'm Dellyn Lee by day, Dellyn Digital by night.
Nice. We know certain gurus within our circle who would tell you quit the job now and go all in, because quite frankly, you will succeed if you do that. You would in particular, but I don't believe that that's the best play for you.
Right. I just gotta starting up a family, recently married.
Yeah.
Kind of think about that and have a foundation, and when I'm able to switch, oh yeah, it's happening.
Thing is, you can quit any day, whether it's a day, a week, a month, or 5 years from now. And if you're happy at work, that's also going to translate into happy on your side hustle here as well. You don't come home miserable and aggravated and depressed. You come home energized and motivated. And I think that's going to reflect very well on Dellyn Digital, And I'm impressed at that 20-page business plan. Jonesy, I don't even think we have a 20-page business plan, do we?
No, nowhere close.
Yeah. So good on you, man. You're doing everything right. Certainly, I would say don't let the obstacles like setting up an LLC and stuff. Once you do it, and be like, oh my goodness, that was so easy. That stuff's not hard, man. That business cards and a website. Jonesy can help you with a website. That makes you stand out and whatnot. But just the doing of it. Planning is great. There's not to be said for planning. I honestly think there's more to be said for doing, which is ready, fire, aim, because once you get the thing moving, all these possibilities and opportunities that you never really thought of before or had any awareness of present themselves. It's like the universe, the energy just wants to reward people that take action. So I would salute you for that. I mean, we've basically done everything wrong on this show and on our own, show by, not having the business plan in the LLC first. We're like, hey, let's try working together and see where it takes us. And I think this is a high energy, high possibility show right here with George. We're humbled to be working with him. We enjoy working with him. We see endless possibilities. But, did we start with a business plan and we form an LLC day one before we did anything? Hell no. We got together and we said, let's try this out. Kind of like a band. We said, let's do a few gigs together and then see if we want to keep playing, So that's action.
In other words, we failed, so you don't have to.
There you go.
Yes.
I don't think this is going to fail, but I've certainly done enough of that in the past. Oh my God.
Yeah, I'm done failing. I'm done.
Yeah.
I'm not into that failing thing.
No, it's highly overrated, by the way.
For sure.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So I have a question for you, Dellyn. Will having a mailing list benefit you? Because one of the mantras in any world of marketing, especially digital, is you got to build a list. Somehow you got to build a list and communicate with your constituency, your customers, your potential customers. Will you have a newsletter? I'm all about podcast and newsletter. That's my thing. Will you have a newsletter, and will you be engaging only with people who purchase your services? Are you going to build a list and communicate with interested people who then might be with you for a year until they decide, okay, now I'm ready to do this with you? Dellyn, someone might say to you, Dellyn, I've been following you for 6 months now. Now I'm ready to dive in. But they're only going to be able to do that if you engage with them through an email list somehow, some way. Where is email, and where is email marketing, and where are a company digital newsletter? What role are they going to play? Have you considered that? Just share with us.
Oh yeah, for sure. I think you guys talked about this on the last podcast, but but I'll dive into how it relates to Dellyn Digital. So for sure, I'm definitely going to be doing a mailing list. I feel like that is something aside from, let's just say, YouTube comments, people that come by the streams and stuff like that. That's only surface letter kind of thing. If you have that mailing list, you have that forever. It won't go away. If you decide to just get off of YouTube and get on GitHub or Twitter, if God, hopefully not, then you could be basically, all set from there by that mailing list. And from there, I could just reach out to them saying, oh, this is what's going on in the video game industry. Here's some tips and tricks for your resume. If you want to kind of dive into it a little bit deeper, here's a course kind of thing. So that brings them value. At the same time, show them that, hey, I'm streaming on these days. If you have some time when you're not looking for something, grab a beer, watch me play video games, and kind of have that kind of communication going on, and we'll just go from there. So yes, having a mailing list is important. Just got to make sure I have a lot of information that I could kind of bring to the table. But when it comes to the video game industry, there's always something happening there. So yeah.
So when regarding gaming, not only men and women who play the games themselves, but are you also talking about the programmers and developers as well?
When I say it like that, it's mostly people that loves to play video games. Now, when it comes to just kind of give you some hindsight on what's going on in the industry, it's not doing very good in the sense of programmers and developers, because there's a lot of layoffs that's happening aside from what we know what's going on right now in other industries. But for the video game industry, it's a lot of that going on, and there's a lot of people out of work as well. I actually did partner with a fellow LinkedIn enthusiast that's in the video game industry, that's mostly having free services when it comes to the programmer side of things, the developer side of things. He's very outspoken in that sense, and I'm actually volunteering for him. Nothing to do with Dellyn Digital. It's just volunteering. I always wanted to volunteer, and I felt like this is something that I could finally dive in and help out in some kind of way. And I've actually helped out one gentleman so far. You got to start somewhere. So when it comes to that aspect of it, it's everyone. It's my main focus is people that loves to play video games and tying that back into the brand. Now that could be your mother, that could be your girlfriend, that could be man, woman. It doesn't matter who. If you love playing video games, I most definitely want to talk to you and connect with you and make your life better.
Frank, you were going to say something before I interrupted you.
Oh no, I jumped it. I jumped the curb in front of you. I was going to say, Dellyn, think of your list as your book of business. Like if you were an insurance agent, that's your book of business, man. You might take it from Allstate to State Farm or wherever, but that's your book of business. And you're saying the right thing when you say, you don't know if you'll be on Twitter or this or that. If you have a list using a company like aweber.com or whatever, that is yours, and nobody can take that away from you. And Jones, you want to talk about that, like with the host thing, how we keep everything separate, kind of expounding upon that? Expanding, I should say.
Yeah, I thought of a couple of different things. Dellyn, you already touched on it about, the list is yours as long as you can protect that data, and, just whatever platform you're using, like we use Aweber, create a Zap and export your list to a local Excel sheet once a week, which means you'll never need that backup. But if you don't have it, that's when I get nervous. But it makes you platform proof. I was just kind of thinking about LinkedIn, because you had mentioned a little while ago that, LinkedIn is going to be a very prominent platform for you, and the types of tools that you can use within LinkedIn with newsletters and articles and, creating, I guess like a sub list within LinkedIn, and leveraging that, which is really cool because it's not a platform that we have a lot of our students and colleagues that promote heavily on, because it's not a B2C platform. You don't sell widgets on LinkedIn. You don't sell home services or anything like that, which is what a lot of our clients and students are. But in the recruiting space and the coaching space, yeah, perfect avenue. And then you can establish yourself as a thought leader and really reformat and repurpose content without thinking too much about it using those tools. Like, just for example, the way we do it with conversion chemistry is either Frank comes up with a newsletter or I come up with an article. But then those become referential to the newsletter, to the blog, or vice versa. We create another piece of content off of it. And then you can actually, like, even just GPT whittle it down to an excerpt, create a LinkedIn article with the good old fashioned read more, which takes you back to the website, which now has the full article. So you got the SEO benefit right there. And then you want more news, tips, gamer inside industry like this? Subscribe here.
Exactly.
Just making it a fully self-prophesizing digital marketing synergy.
You know, Jonesy, you are a marketing nerd, man. Look how happy you get talking about this stuff. You're like me. You could talk about it all day and all night and still not get bored of it, you know?
You know, it makes me wish I didn't get that LASIK so I can push my glasses up every time I drop some knowledge like that. I kind of do miss that a little bit.
Just put it
Yeah.
up. Just
Yeah.
put it up.
Yeah, I got.
There
Look
you
at
go.
that. That's right.
That's
Lift 'em
awesome.
up. All right, so I got two questions for you. First thing, and I guess the first question is for everybody. Every industry has a kind of a informal gathering. I mean, there's trade shows, professional trade shows, and then there's common interest expos. Is there a thing called GamerCon? Something like that. Is is there a world of gaming that you can introduce yourself to? Like, I don't know. Like, I just worked the booth at the Fan Expo, Philadelphia Fan Expo, and there was 50,000 people last weekend dressed up like Star Wars and Ninja Turtles and Trekkies, and I'd never I'd never seen anything like that in my life, whatever. But Marvel comics and sci-fi characters and this kind of stuff. Okay, I get it. You know, I could see where, like, I had no idea what the hell I was doing there, and then I had to just like enjoy what was going on. I kept thinking, I'm like, why are all these? And it wasn't kids. I'm like, why are all these adults dressed like Han Solo or Captain America or something like that? Whatever. Okay, but that's a world all unto itself. Is there a gamer world where people actually get out from a console and go and gather? Is there something like that?
Now that it used to be E3, very, very long time ago, actually a couple of years ago. It used to be E3, a gaming showcase convention where people come and, talk about video games, whether if it's like Nintendo or Xbox or Sony kind of thing. It would be there. They still do have a few kind of those trade shows like GDC or Gamescom, but that's more on the European side of things. So when it comes to the statewide, I think that recently got replaced by Jeff Keighley's Summer Game Fest. He used to actually work for E3 back in the day, but now it's become a little bit more digital in a sense. So for those smaller conventions, not really. It's mostly going to be online or dealing with anything across the seas, unfortunately.
My thoughts are, like, everything has gone online and virtual. Like, tonight the Philadelphia Science Fiction Society is having a meetup in Philly, and that guy had a booth next to the booth that I was working at the Fan Expo, and I had some great conversation with him, and he invited me to this thing. It starts at 8 and goes to as late as midnight. I got to decide if I want to be in Philadelphia at midnight, but they went virtual, and their monthly meetings were just Zoom calls. And he says they have anywhere between 20 and 100 people attend the monthly meetings. And this is their first face-to-face, not virtual meeting since before COVID. So this is kind of a big deal now that people are starting to meet face-to-face again. I might go to this tonight. I'm not sure yet. But getting people away from the screen and meeting face-to-face is kind of a task, because obviously I would say gamers are not known for their socialization skills.
Yeah.
And from what I've seen, that socializing and getting out amongst people is a skill that needs to be learned. And maybe that can be, I don't know, maybe that's something that Dellyn Digital can just consider. Social skills for gamers. I mean, I just see a course there. To me, that just, we just came up with a course, social skills for gamers, because
Exactly.
it's easy to be behind, it's easy to be in front of a camera or behind a some kind of console with a controller in your hand, and it's difficult for a person who spends all their time in front of a screen to go to a live event, shake hands, and meet and greet and all that. So maybe there's some kind of master class you could do on social skills for gamers, that type of thing. And the gamers are from obviously all types of careers and industries, police officers, programmers, garbage collectors, school teachers, coaches, just like it just runs the gamut. But having a gathering, even if it started as a meetup where 12 people show up, who knows where it can go? It can be, I don't know, some type of gamer socialization, gamer social event. Rent a
multiplayer meetup.
Jonesy, you say that, and I already have a idea popped in my head. I just went to this internet cafe for my bachelor's party. Yes, I'm that much of a nerd, and I was sitting in a what was it? Secret lab chair, and those chairs are very comfortable. This is not sponsored. No, it's not. But anyway, though, I was playing there, and I said, "Wow, this would be a very good place for people to meet up, sign on to their Steam, and play the." Well, let me see, Helldivers 2. That's the most interesting, awesome game right now for multiplayer. It's about 4 people, and just start small from there, and just kind of branch out into something bigger, kind of. So that is something that most definitely I would be interested in doing once I get a good pool of people that's interested in doing that.
That's perfect. That's how the idea starts. The seed's been planted.
Exactly. And when it comes to the trade show aspect of it, even though they don't have it in person, I could always stream the show live, make comments on what's going on in the trade shows itself as it's live, and build a community from that. That's where I'm going to be, streaming as well. So it all connects into that, the mailing list, and then, straight to the website, just like Jonesy says. So building that ecosystem is something that's already in the, back of my head kind of thing.
Where do gamers and streamers congregate? I mean, because I'm an introvert, and I love the phrase that says "introverts unite" in the comfort of their own home.
Yes.
So unite, in front of your webcam. But for an introvert to get out of the house and actually go to an event, go to a room somewhere, like I said, even if it started out as 10 or 12 people, that could be a big thing. But where do gamers and streamers congregate other than virtually? Is there, I don't know. I know nothing about that world. Talk to me, Dellyn. Talk to me.
So when it comes to that kind of aspect, I mean, I haven't said Twitch. I really want to go into Twitch because it's become something that's not, it used to start off as gaming, and then it kind of turned into something totally different kind of sense. So I really don't think I really want to stream on there, but we'll see when it happens. But TwitchCon is also something that is a thing that where actual streamers come together and talk and things like that. I'm sure YouTube have something like that as well when it comes to things. So using those 2 platforms will be beneficial for me to talk to content creators and things like that. And unfortunately, Twitter or X or whatever it's called, without the degeneracy aside from that, they also congregate from there as well.
Yeah. Okay.
It's definitely,
I think business principles are universal no matter what the business is. Even though I know nothing about gaming and streaming, the business principles that I know can apply. Frank and Jonesy, what business principles do you think he would like marketing principles would he benefit the most from? Like some of the things that we've talked about: host beneficiary relationships, endorsements, developing the back end, advertising, direct mail, joint ventures, strategic alliances, telemarketing, direct sales, having a slogan, YouTube, other social media, having an affiliate program, webinars, masterclasses, conferences, the Dellyn Digital way of doing things. Is there a signature way that you deal with things? Is there a protocol? What is the Dellyn Digital way of doing things? Like, and have that defined. Frank and Jonesy, comment on that, all of that.
Well, George, yes to all of those things would work. However, it's not feasible to start with any of those particular or all of them at once, I should say. I'm always going to suggest at this stage, since you've obviously done a lot of planning already, which is, it puts you way ahead, is think about a couple niches down of your avatar. Hey, avatar, it's self-referential, awesome. But your target audience, it's gamers, which is cool because it's one niche. But within that, what can you identify as to what problem you're solving? And then, as you're creating your core products and the messaging, surround it with that particular avatar's pain points. And then sometimes when you do that, a lot of the pathways kind of reveal themselves. Like, if we're going to talk about a JV or a strategic partnership with some particular vendor that you might encounter down the road, or creating an affiliate program, that it would probably lend itself very well for you, because your target audience, even before you define that third niche, gamers, they're connected. So they're already within these communities and whatnot. So I see affiliate working very well in that respect, from just a growth standpoint.
Yeah, affiliate links are definitely very important. Yeah, I like that because it ties into if I get a sponsorship with, let's just say, Turtle Beaches and their headsets, and I actually try it out for myself. And when it comes to those affiliate links, I'm going to make sure if I don't use it and if I don't like it, I'm not going to pass that on to anyone else, because I don't want to give bad products, and I'm not going to be that type of guy. So I like that aspect of it. And I like when you say a niche within a niche, because that's how I got here from my friends saying, find a niche within a niche within a niche.
Mhm.
Saying it. So, this is actually all came up, if I have some time to kind of talk about this, about the psychology side of things with the clients. And I came across something called the Bartle taxonomy of player types. And that kind of breaks down gamers into kind of 4 different brackets. Lack of a better word, the killers per se, or the clubs, the achievers or the diamonds, the socializers or the hearts, the explorers or the spades. And that kind of dives into different categories. And just to kind of look up something called, let's just say the killers, for instance, lack of a better word, the clubs in this sense. These are the kind of players that likes to surpass others and also, dominate and be basically in the spotlight, the top spot, the high score leaderboards, those kind of things. These are the kind of gamers or players in this kind of bracket. And just tying that into coaching, in a sense, these are the kind of players that's actually just going to be specializing more in certain kind of jobs.
Sales.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes. Closers. Those are the kind of people that I could, say, oh, you play this kind of game. This is where your strengths could, go into this kind of space when it comes to an actual job. So it all kind of correlates from there. And I've did some research when it comes to those kind of players and these 4 different types of players, and that could branch off into different kind of products that I could just market to those said players. So yeah, I've been, as you could tell, I've done a lot of research.
Yeah.
Excellent. Just a quick little segue here. Let me ask Frank and Jonesy, would Dellyn benefit from a day with us at the mastermind? He's up in New York. We've had people come down pretty far. Is that something that you would recommend at this point, or not yet?
Yes.
Absolutely, and without fail. Sure. He'd be more than welcome, and he'd get a lot. And whether he drove or he could take the train to Tullytown, or probably Levittown and Tullytown, so they could pick him up, bring him over. Either way.
By somebody, you mean me, because I live 2 minutes from that train station. I get it. You're delegating. That's fine. But
no,
I'll do it in a heartbeat.
volunteered because then I could see more trains. You big dummy. Anything to see a train. That's my thing, Dillon. I am a train head from the first.
How to drive myself. I am unfortunately taking MTA. So actually, I've actually ride my bike. I have a foldable bike, and I ride to work every day, kind of thing. 5 miles going,
Nice.
30 miles, 3 days in the office, kind of thing. Go to the gym afterwards, and yeah. So I have like a little schedule for that. But yeah,
Do you live in Manhattan or like North Jersey?
I live near Coney Island, if you know where that's at.
I do.
Sheepshead Bay, or
yeah, no, Coney Island, like Coney Island area. It's like Italian, Asian area.
Yeah,
it's really nice. I'm 30 minutes away from work, and it works out.
How far are you from New Jersey Transit?
Not very far. I mean, I could just go to Atlantic Terminal, get on New Jersey Transit, and go from there.
Yeah, take it south. Where would he go to, Jonesy? Would he go to Hamilton,
So I mean,
Trenton?
there's literally the Woodburn station in Langhorne is 2.5 minutes from where our mastermind is, and that goes directly to Trenton.
West Trenton.
Yeah. Or we'll get Joe Patterson to pick him up somewhere in Jersey. I don't know. I'm gonna redelegate my delegation.
As long as I can have rest, date, time, I could fit into my schedule. This is
Excellent.
most important to me.
Excellent. So
Yeah, I think shopping him would be a great idea, George. Absolutely. You get more out of that one day than you get in that, and some individualized coaching. Hopefully you have somebody doing that you're taking advice from already that's kind of guiding you along the way.
Well, not unfortunately, the only coach that I could honestly say an official coach is honestly just George Bruno, watching his videos and just kind of sparking that side of the brain for me, that creative side for me as well. So I don't have like an official coach per se. It's currently just George Bruno, and honestly, you gentlemen just spark the soul up.
Yeah, and like I said, you're a super fan of Fire Your Boss, and you're one of the OGs of my men's community, so it's pretty cool. Yeah, if you go to ken1day.com, you can sign up for the mastermind group. ken1day.com, KEN, ken1day.com.
When's the next one, George? Like May
28th.
Yeah.
Tuesday.
Yeah.
For Tuesday. Yeah.
It would be the Tuesday after Memorial Day. So if you play your cards right, you can get a 4-day weekend by taking Friday, Saturday, 5-day weekend.
5 days.
It depends on your employer. It should be a 3-day weekend with Memorial Day, and then you're a recruiter. Use some HR juju to get yourself out of work.
So we talked about going down about 3 niches.
Right.
All right. Gamers. The next level would be what? Like male, female, older, younger, like start like narrowing it down and reaching out and developing a community, because the gamer community is pretty darn huge from what I understand. And that there are some real specific niches in there. So who knows? Like I said, I know nothing about it, and I would sound ignorant if I started talking about it. So I know nothing about it. But let me ask you this: who is your ideal customer?
Yes, of course. So, as you said, gamers. There's a lot of them. A lot of gamers, ranging from age 16 to 64. So, actually looking at it, because I did research on this as well, most of it is going to be males. 63% of gamers are honestly males. Looking at the study that I looked at from 2020, I believe, and it probably has increased since then. But I'm for both parties, males and females. It doesn't matter for me. But when it comes to the actual age, that's going to be ages from like 21 to like 36, and that's like a good range of people from like Gen Z S to millennials, aspect of it. And also when it comes to the LinkedIn side of things, I'm not sure if you gentlemen have been on LinkedIn in a while or not, but people that's looking for work, kind of thing. They do have a banner on LinkedIn where they kind of reflect that they are looking for work. So those are the kind of people that I would be targeting, in a sense, commenting on people's posts, being in, the industry, things like that. So I feel like that's like some exposure I could do on their side in addition to that. So it's most likely going to be ranging from 21 to 36 is going to be my age bracket.
Mm-hmm. Okay, excellent.
So you
What
don't,
is
you don't,
Go ahead,
sorry,
Frank.
George. I was going to say, Dellyn, you don't have anything for a baby boomer like me that used to take the train into Times Square and play the arcade like Pac-Man, Missile. Well, no, my games are Missile Command, Battlezone, Tempest, Galaxian, Galaga, and Death Race 2000. Those are my games, man. And those people, George, that's still a market. There's a niche for you. I don't know if they're still in business. Somewhere's out on the Pennsylvania Turnpike, maybe around like the Norristown exit or the exit for like 309 or whatever. There's an arcade company that restores and repairs the ones from when we were around, and people actually collect them and have them like in their basements or their playrooms or whatever. As soon as we finish our basement here, I've got a shopping list, man, because I love that stuff. You know, Tempest, Missile Command, Battle Zone, and my one true love, Galaga,
Galaga.
which is yeah,
So when
that
you
was
So
the
there's about 5 or 6 minutes from where we have our mastermind in Langhorne in Lower Bucks, PA, is the game gallery. It's we should have a field trip there. They've got all the
yes,
old
please.
box arcade games. You pay by the hour, or more appropriately, the 2 hours, because you can't stay for under 1 hour. And at least 40 to 50 pinball machines, skee ball. Yeah, you can get lost there.
that's and Frank, that actually opens up. Wow, my group actually got a little bit bigger because of that. So that kind of tells me that you love playing games with high scores added onto it. So that kind of automatically puts you in the bracket of like a achiever, which is the diamonds, which is basically the people that loves the high scores and achieving that. So that's telling me project manager, event planner, financial analysts, coaching,
Yep.
boom. And that's where I'm going to be gearing mostly the content for the coaching aspect of it, for the diming side of things.
I never compete really with anybody else. I just want to make sure I got my name up there on the first board. You know what I mean? Just it's your initials. Like, who the hell knows who you are anyway? But it felt good, man. You know, just to get your name up there and all.
When
Yeah.
you're by that machine, you'll know.
Field trip to Langhorne is yeah. You're right, Dellyn. That machine and I, we know what went down. You know, absolutely. So field trip to Langhorne. I like that, Jonesy.
Dellyn, I have a question for you.
Sure.
When will you get your first customer? And I'm putting a little pressure on you. Like a month from now, will you have your first paying customer? So here we are. It's May 10th. Let's say by June 10th. Will you have a customer at any level? Do you think, is it too soon to do that? Do you still need to create more infrastructure? You tell me. What do you think?
Yeah. So I would say by July, I should have my first
July.
customer.
Okay. So
All right, so we're
Actually,
about 6 weeks.
I have started, and fail upwards. The first time I sent my link, someone was interested. They actually didn't follow up with me in a sense. Second time I sent another link, the person was like, "Oh, like, okay, something's not working." And the third time was like a commissions base or anything, or I didn't charge them. It was just volunteering, just to kind of get an idea of how could I help this person? What could I do to help this person now? Kind of thing, and opening them up into the other services down the line if they choose to come back to me, kind of sense.
mm-hmm.
So just marketing myself a little bit more, actually flipping the gauge on it, and going from there. I'm actually, in addition to this LLC, Frank is right. Starting is important. If you have the LLC right or not, but in the back of my head, I'm always thinking I do have a good framework, like in terms of when I get on the first call, I like to call it press start kind of thing, or press start. And then the follow-up call would be continue 10, 9, 8, like that kind of thing. So I do have something with LinkedIn to kind of start that. I do have a spiel to talk about when talking about my services, and then from there, if we can make something stick, that's what I could get my first client. So okay. I'm open to I will get my first client.
Excellent. Excellent.
You've got 60 days.
60 days. 60 days. We'll have you back on in 60 days. Definitely we'll do that. And then we'll we'll see you face to face at one of the mastermind meetings. That'll be pretty cool as well. But I know this is your lunch hour. Dellyn, I know this is your lunch hour. I know you got to get back to work at 2:00. It's our pleasure and an honor to have you on. It's good to have you be part of this community. Thank you for being a fan of Fire Your Boss, and we hope to inspire you and be there for you. And it'd be kind of cool if you were one of our first success stories. So we are committed to the growth and profitability of our fans. We don't want to waste your time, anything like that. So I will be in touch with you. You be in touch with me. You can also reach out to Jonesy and Frank anytime because your success is our success. And consider us to be like your personal board of directors. That's how I look at it.
Wow, I thank you, George, Jonesy, Frank, and I like to also pass this along to you as well. If there's anything I could do to expand you gentlemen, because I actually like the video content creation, the branding side of things, just being in the same room and learning from you guys will just bring me joy as well, because I also learn from it as well. As you could tell from George having this plan already set in place, and you guys help spark me to press start.
That's beautiful. That's a beautiful thing. So, like I said, I think you're going to be our first success story. So, all right, I know you got to get back to work. We are going to continue and keep talking, but please stay in touch. And you don't need permission to stay in touch with us. Just do it anytime.
Thank you, guys.
You guys,
Thank
our
you, Dyan.
pleasure. Yeah. Good luck, and we'll see you in 2 months.
See you in 2 months.